Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.
Hey, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Saturday Night Dialogues. It is May the 24th, 2025. And we have a very special call for you tonight. I think all calls are special, but will be a little special and different. Let's jump right into some prayer and get into some announcements, and let's get rocking and rolling. Father God, as always, we give you gratitude. We give you grace. We give you honor. We thank you. As always, we thank you for blessing us with the opportunity to be a part of this blessing so that we could be a blessing to others. We thank you for guiding us all to the facts and to the truth that has allowed us to be a part of this community that has been really spearheaded by Goldilocks. We thank you for all of the wonderful people in the tribe who have come along to take the word that Wiley, myself, and the rest of the tribe has put out in order for them to get prepared for this blessing that you have bestowed upon us. And we thank you for those that also continue to reach back in the tribe to help other tribe members. We ask that you continue to not only speak to us, but through us so that we can bring forth the message for many people to wake up as much as possible to get prepared for the blessing that you have coming. In your precious name we pray. Amen. All right, folks, real quick, some quick announcements. Of course, we have Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room, which is open Monday through Friday now, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's ground zero, where you hear so many people that every day announcing they've established their relationships with their bankers to being set up. That's ground zero for the Goldilocks articles, where we share and we break them down. And that is also where we have a lot of fun, like family. All right, that's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Also, just so you know, we are closed for Memorial Day, just so that you're aware. Then we have Dee's Room. Dee's Room is where Dee drops a lot of articles related to the RV as well and the global financial mechanisms. Then we have Crypto Finance Room with Dave Big Dog. So anything related to crypto, all your questions related to crypto, that is where you are more than welcome to go and ask your questions and get your answers. Then we have Goldilocks Global Banking News. That's your daily podcast for all of Goldilocks' daily updates on the RVGCR, and things are beginning to heat up. Actually, they've been heating up for quite some time. It just seems like it just gets better and better every day. Thankfully, thanks to all of you, we've reached 8,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, the Goldilocks Global Banking News. 1.4 million views we've reached. Quick heads up announcement for this call is live, but for those listening on YouTube that will listen to the recording, this Sunday, tomorrow, we will release the impromptu special call with Chuck one of our members who owns a restaurant, and he had a meeting with his private wealth manager who came to visit him almost an hour and a half away to visit him at Chuck's restaurant. And they talked about the RVGCR, currencies. As a matter of fact, even the private wealth manager agreed to introduce Chuck to another private wealth manager out of New York who can exchange his currency on his behalf. And there's so much in that call, jam-packed, you don't want to miss. It will be out tomorrow, Sunday, at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So for those of you who are listening to this on YouTube and probably catching it after Sunday, you can go back and listen to that podcast. It will be on YouTube for you to pay attention to and listen to. All right. Tonight we have we're going to have a little change to the call after we read the articles. So we're going to read the articles first. The one and only Peculiar Ram is going to read the articles. And then instead of having members share their bank updates at the beginning of the call, we're not going to have that tonight. We're going to have a Q&A specifically for wealth management after we read the articles. So you'll be able to raise your hand at that time, not now, after we read the articles, and we will come to you. And please make sure that your questions are specific to wealth management. We know that a lot of you have already established your relationships, you're already structured, but there are those that haven't or may have some questions and need some guidance. And we will take the opportunity tonight to be able to answer those questions. Wiley called me the other day and he had made the suggestion to have a little change this call. I was so glad that he made it. Was an excellent suggestion to kind of switch it up a little bit tonight. And that's what we're going to do. All right. So let's jump into the article so we can get to your Q&A. And again, make sure they're specific to wealth management, please. And for those who may want to disrupt, maybe there's one or two trolls that are here. There's this button called edit, and we will just edit out on YouTube. So it's not like you're going to disrupt too much because it'll be like it never happened. Just please respect our time, respect our members, respect yourself. So, all right. Now let's get on into this thing. Peculiar Ram, if you can come to the microphone, please. Let's get into these articles, and then let's get to the hello, young lady.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. You ready to rock and roll?
Let's get it.
All right, folks. These are going to be the topics tonight. The Genius Act, which is the stablecoin regulation that the Senate passed in a cloture vote. We're going to touch on that. And stablecoins, as you all hopefully are aware, is what we need in order to back all currencies. Stablecoins will back all currencies. They are necessary to back all currencies, folks, for the global currency reset, because stable coins provide a stable value on the new rates. We're going to touch on that. Then we're going to touch on Vietnam is getting closer. We got the receipts for that shared by Goldilocks. Iraq is getting closer. We got receipts on that. And then we have, we're going to touch on the gold standard. We know we need gold to back our currencies in the new system. Just so you're aware, the currencies will be backed by gold and stable coins to provide the stable new rates on the currencies that'll be backed by gold. All right. Then we're going to briefly touch on the preparation for the new global rates. It's in writing, and we're going to share that with you as well. We have the receipts that you'll be able to read this information on your own if you so choose. Vet it for yourself if you so choose, so that you are educated and prepared. All right. Now let's get down to business.
Mhm.
My peculiar Ram, we're going to get down with the get down. All right. All right. We're going to get on the stablecoin regulation, which the Senate passed the cloture vote. Then it'll go before a full Senate floor vote, which should, like I mentioned the other day, should be a rubber stamp. Then it'll go to the House for the House to pass, which it is expected that they will. And then President Trump will sign off on it. This Genius Act, this stablecoin regulation, is what the Senate in the previous administration continuously blocked, continuously put up roadblocks. This regulation is so key and important to the RV. Without it, this is one of several things that the RV needs. Can't happen without it. These are the regulations that provides the legal framework for all of the banks in the U.S. to utilize stable coins. These aren't coins that you need to buy. These aren't coins that you need to invest in. If you so choose, that's your business. But these stable coins, just so that you're aware, let me give you a quick little education. Stable coins are designed to only have a value of $1 US, not $2, not $3, not 10, only $1 US, whereby that stable coin is backed by U.S. Treasury assets. This is providing the foundation into the banking system to provide stable values. Think of an anchor on a boat. You need that anchor. If you don't have that anchor that is anchored into the water to keep the boat stable, it will rock, it will move, it will shift. There will be dramatic rate fluctuations on currencies if there were no stable coins to provide the stability. So this regulation is key. Europe has their stablecoin regulations. Other countries have their stablecoin regulations. The U.S. is behind, but we're moving forward. Let's jump right into this one, young lady.
I have a correction on the stablecoin bill today. It did pass later tonight. Against all odds, the Senate stablecoin bill has regained political momentum, passing a key procedural vote Monday evening that has set the legislation on track for passage within days.
Pay attention, folks, because what she's going to get to eventually here, and even in the last paragraph, is how this is related to the Forex market. Yes, to our currencies. Why this bill is so important. Go ahead.
The Genius Act passed a cloture vote Monday, less than 2 weeks after a failing one. The stablecoin bill now heads to a full floor vote. Now the bill goes before the House. It should go through the House quickly. The House spent a lot of time preparing it for the Senate to vote on. The Genius Act is likely to have a significant impact on the Forex market, but it's not directly intended to regulate it. Instead, the Genius Act focuses on establishing a framework for payment stablecoins, which are digital assets pegged to the value of a fiat currency like the US dollar. By regulating stablecoins, the Act aims to improve stability and transparency in the financial system, which could indirectly benefit the Forex market.
Boom. So the stability that these stable coins will provide stability to the new values of currencies, to the new values of all assets, and the gold that these assets will be backed with will provide like a double anchor, a double level of security and safety to the values into the new banking system. So when this is speaking of as stable coins is a digital asset, if you all recall, within the first, I believe, 30 or was it 60 days of President Trump's inauguration, he created a task force to come up with digital asset regulations, which is expected to come to his desk by July in that time frame, because these digital asset regulations, folks, is what is needed for the new banking system to support the values of new currencies. We are moving into the new digital asset-based trading system, the new finance system, the new banking system. It's digital. Stablecoins is just digital regulations for it. So just think if the RV would have happened last year or sometime before without digital asset regulations, but we're moving into a new digital banking system. You could have gone and exchanged your currency, and within 24 hours, there's no stability within the banking system. So within 24 hours, you lose all your money or a portion of it because of the large fluctuations and volatility in the market. Stable coins and also gold, a gold-backed system, a gold-based system, provides the stability and the security. So when we do exchange, the values are secure. So I hope you're picking up what we're putting down and understanding the importance of stable coins. So some of you may be thinking, oh, should you invest in stable coins? That's your prerogative. That's not what we are suggesting. All that Goldilocks is doing is just sharing with you what is absolutely necessary for our currencies, for the new banking system, which of course the currencies will be moving into. You have Iraq going digital, Vietnam going digital, the US going digital. All of the countries and the banking systems around the world are moving to a new digital banking system. And on July 1st, it becomes official. So why not have the digital asset regulations to support the new banking system? All right. Now let's get into the next that we have here that's also on stable coins to sort of make it more sense related to foreign currency exchange. Go, young lady.
Stablecoins are increasingly viewed as a transformative force in foreign currency exchange and international payments, offering speed, cost efficiency, and accessibility compared to traditional systems. Their role is being shaped by their ability to mitigate volatility, streamline cross-border transactions, and enhance financial inclusion, particularly in emerging markets.
Pause 1 second, beloved. Stable coins are increasingly viewed as a transformative force in foreign currency exchange and international payments, offering speed, cost efficiency, and accessibility compared to traditional systems. Accessibility is key, folks, because there are third world countries like Iraq and others that, although they have have digital banking systems, they're fairly new to the digital banking systems. They have infrastructures that are not as up to date as other countries around the world. However, with stable coins, it provides Iraq and other countries that may not have as strong of technology now to have accessibility to the international global banking system. So therefore, when it talks about also their role is being shaped, meaning stablecoins' role is being shaped by their ability to mitigate volatility. What is volatility? That is the extreme movement of money, value, rates in the banking system. Streamline cross-border transactions. Folks, foreign currency exchange is another term for cross-border transactions. When you exchange your currency from one currency to the other, that's a cross-border transaction. Stable coins will actually now mitigate any volatility. It will provide speed of the exchange and transaction through cross-border transactions because it's a stable coin. It provides stability on both sides of the exchange. It provides stability on both sides of a financial transaction. Okay. All right. In the last paragraph, Philip, you can go ahead. Stable coins are poised.
Stablecoins are poised to play a significant role in the evolution of foreign currency exchange and international payments, driven by their efficiency, accessibility, and growing regulatory support.
1 second, beloved. Stablecoins are poised to play a significant role in the evolution of foreign currency exchange and international payments. The evolution, meaning it will provide a new, faster, less expensive, streamlined foreign currency exchange process. Stablecoins will do that. So what this is telling us, and it's apropos because what stablecoins will do for foreign currency exchange is it will actually elevate foreign currency exchange. It will evolve foreign currency exchange. It brings the old foreign currency exchange system into the new banking system. Good, young lady.
Recent articles from 2024 and 2025 highlight their transformative potential, particularly in cost reduction and financial inclusion, but emphasize the need for robust regulation and infrastructure to ensure stability and scalability.
Mm-hmm.
While not without risks, stablecoins are increasingly seen as a bridge between traditional finance and digital economies, with adoption accelerating in both developed and emerging markets.
Do y'all know what emerging markets are? Some of you have invested. I know Peculiar Ram has invested in emerging markets. This is where, folks, many of us have invested in currencies in emerging markets. Emerging markets are I'm gonna just for sake of ease, let's say the United States, China, Russia, the UK, they are market economies. I'm gonna give them a grade of an A, meaning that's the best grade that you can get, or even A plus. I'll say A plus when it comes to finance, global finance, and accessibility or access to the global markets. Let's give the United States an A. Let's give Iraq and Vietnam a C grade for access to the international global markets. With stable coins, Iraq, Vietnam, and any other third world country that is classified as an emerging market instead of a market economy. Now those countries, those third world countries, can now be considered a class A or A plus. Why? Because stable coins immediately moves them from a C to an A, or it evolves them from a C to an A grade because of the access stable coins through digital means, through the digital banking systems of Iraq, through the digital banking systems of Vietnam and every country around the world, even through all of the ports of the countries. Stablecoins will be utilized to bridge the gap between the old financial system of doing transactions, slow, expensive, not transparent, to the new system which stablecoins provides speed, accessibility that really wasn't there before, into the new banking system. Go ahead, young lady. Oh, no, you finished with that one. And when emerging markets. So, folks, this stable coins, it enables these emerging markets where many of us have invested. It now moves them to have the same accessibility in the new banking system, the same skill set, the same opportunities as the United States or any other country that's considered a class A or has a grade of an A, if you will. All right. Now we're going to touch on, speaking of emerging markets, We're going to touch on Vietnam. Vietnam, folks, is an emerging market. Vietnam has passed and still is passing legislation that will be an evolution for them to go from an emerging market to a market economy. Let's jump right into this one, young lady.
Summary of recent developments on Vietnam negotiations. The proposed amendments to Vietnam's 2013 Constitution, submitted on May 6, 2025, by the Constitutional Drafting Committee, aim to reform local government structures to enhance administrative efficiency, foster economic development, and bolster political legitimacy.
1 second, beloved. So what Goldilocks is sharing and summarizing is that on May the 6th, Vietnam amended their constitution in order to open their borders, in order to open their country to private businesses to come into Vietnam to do business with them. Why is this so important? Because when countries like Vietnam, who has historically been closed, opposed to foreign countries to come into their country to do business, that's one of the reasons, not the main reason, but one of the reasons that Vietnam and the Vietnamese dong has not been able to evolve to a higher rate. When you have private investors that are able to come into the country and to pump their dollars into your economy, those dollars are converted into Vietnamese dong. The Vietnamese dong becomes stronger when more companies, private companies, are allowed to come in to invest and do business in Vietnam. So what Vietnam has done as of May the 6th, they changed their constitution to allow private companies to come in. Many of you have already heard of the groundbreaking ceremony just a couple of days ago with President Trump's own personal company, a multi-billion, $1.5 billion project in Vietnam. The negotiations for that started last year, and the contract was signed in October. They broke ground 3 days ago. There are many companies now that are going to pump dollars and pump business into Vietnam. Vietnam has literally changed their constitution to allow for things of this nature, for private companies to come in. They are preparing themselves. Vietnam is literally preparing. It's just not words saying, okay, we'll allow private companies to come into Vietnam so we can grow our economy and grow our currency. They changed their constitution and put it in writing to do so. Good young lady, the last paragraph, if you will.
Okay. Additionally, Vietnam's trade minister engaged with U.S. officials to address tariffs, trade fraud, and illegal transshipment, aiming to narrow the trade gap. Meanwhile, the Trump Organization's project approval by Vietnamese authorities highlights ongoing economic collaboration amid tariff negotiations with the U.S. These developments illustrate Vietnam's multifaceted strategy to strengthen governance, I almost stripped up on that one, stimulate economic growth, and enhance international trade relations while maintaining party-led political stability.
Yes, so Vietnam's trade minister.
Doing a lot.
Trade minister. This is the head of trade for Vietnam. Actually met with our trade, head of our trade in the United States, our trade organization, on Wednesday. Vietnam's Minutes top trade official met with the United States top trade official in Washington, D.C. this past Wednesday, with the delegation from Vietnam, met with the delegation of the U.S. Trade Organization. Where do currencies move on the water? Through trade. When companies trade goods and services with each other. This is why Goldilocks coined the phrase that's always said, watch the water, because that is where currencies are able to move in value through trade. What is the root of the tariffs? It's all about trade.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens, folks, is when Vietnam, as they open Vietnam for more countries to import, this is all trade, import goods into Vietnam, think billions or trillions of dollars consistently. All of it, all of those transactions, all of those transactions are converted and settled in the Vietnamese dong. That raises the value of the Vietnamese dong because the demand for the Vietnamese dong goes up. What Vietnam has been doing for the last 50 years or so, they've been able to grow their economy to be the fastest growing economy in the world in the last 20 years and have not raised the value of their currency. They've been able to get away with it because of specifically us having leadership that allowed it. Well, there's a new sheriff in town. Trump is not going to allow it. This is something he's been talking about since 1988. Putting tariffs on countries. Fair trade. So Vietnam's head of trade and our head of trade came together. This was the second round of negotiations, which was in Washington, D.C. It's ironic that Vietnam and their delegation for trade was in the United States, in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday around the same time that Eric Trump, Trump's son, was in Vietnam breaking ground on the Trump Organization golf courses, hotels, and real estate. You gotta love it. No major media attention at all. Right. They're not touching it. This goes to show me how coordinated this is. When you have the lame stream media that every opportunity they get, they bash Trump. He's a crook. He's this. He's that. He's trying to take care of his friends and his family, enrich himself and his billionaire friends. And this, a multi-billion-dollar project in Vietnam, they don't even say nothing about it. It's all orchestrated. It's all planned. They obviously don't have a problem with it because they're not talking about it. Where's Maxine Waters talking about it?
Don't bring her up. Oh my God.
Where's Jeffries and the rest of these? I'm not gonna go into it, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they got the message to stand down, shut up, and don't touch this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And folks, this is to our benefit. Just think, the president of the United States, his own private company. Remember, Vietnam just changed the constitution to allow private companies to come in.
Oh, they making up.
Yeah, right. That's very true. Very true. They are making concessions. They're doing everything they can to satisfy President Trump in these tariff negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, what you see is so orchestrated. Do not pay attention to what the news tells you. The lamestream media news and the guru news is all the same.
I swear.
It's all the same. It's garbage. It's misinformation. It's propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think, rhetorical question, folks, do you think the president, as intelligent, as a savvy business person as he is, would be investing billions of dollars in Vietnam if he didn't think it was going to be worth his value and get a return? Hold on to your doll. Okay.
No diddy.
No doubt. Oh, my Lord. Lord have mercy. Lord. Okay. All right. Now, speaking of private investments into a country, speaking of private investment into Vietnam, also, folks, just so you know, Honeywell, Siemens, plenty of other companies now pumping dollars into Vietnam, even contracts with Boeing and others for, Lockheed Martin for airplanes now to be built. Vietnam opening up their semiconductor factories for U.S. companies to come in. Vietnam went from, no, I'm not kissing you, to, yes, let's make a baby. It just flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Overnight, it just flipped. Times are changing, folks. Times have changed. And it's a beautiful thing that we are in the right position, right place at the right time. Now let's get into Iraq with their private sector. And now Iraq is opening their doors for other countries. They have for quite some time. But this is even more telling what Iraq is doing with their private sector. Here we go. Go, young lady.
The meeting between His Excellency Ali Mohsen Al-Alaq, Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD, delegation focused on preparations for the EBRD to begin operations in Iraq in September 2025, after Iraq completes its accession to the bank. Key discussion points likely included finalizing procedural requirements, aligning economic policies, and identifying priority sectors for EBRD support, such as infrastructure, private sector development, and financial reforms.
Private sector development, financial reforms. Go ahead.
This follows Iraq's formal membership in the EBRD, approved in October 2023, with an initial capital subscription of approximately $10 million to access the bank's financing and expertise for sustainable development projects.
Boom. What this is, folks, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. This is a bank in Europe. Iraq became a member of this bank. They paid a little over 10 million euros, or approximately 13 million US, and they passed certain guidelines in order to be accepted onto this bank, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. This bank is going to participate in private sector development projects in Iraq. Just like private sector projects now going on in Vietnam, Iraq is doing the same thing. Go ahead. The last paragraph, Philip, you can read that one.
Yes, efforts by the EBRD and the Iraqi government to modernize the banking sector and improve the financial environment could potentially lead to a strengthening of the Iraqi dinar, IQD. This is because a more robust financial system including a modernized banking sector, can attract more foreign investment and improve investor confidence, which can lead to increased demand for the IQD.
Boom, folks, just so that you're aware, and I want to reemphasize this, I know I mentioned it the other day, just because these contracts go into effect or construction starts months down the line, that does not mean there's a need to wait. These contracts that are signed with any and every company that is investing with the private sector into Iraq, into Vietnam, these contracts, there are guarantees that can be provided with them, their financial instruments that guarantee the contracts, which can guarantee a certain value of their currency. Now, I don't want to fail to mention this when it comes to these projects. Think of private sector. See, for a long while, people have been told that from the budget of Iraq, that they will revalue the Iraqi dinar. All of a sudden, the rate and the budget will change from the budget. Just think about this. The budget for Iraq, it's an operations and expense budget. It's money already allocated. The budget is public funds. The budget money comes from the public, meaning taxpayers. So if the money is already allocated in Iraq, specifically in their budget in 2023, and it's a 3-year budget, that means from 2023 to 2026, it's a set amount of money from the public that pays for salaries, pension, and public projects. There will be no rate changed in the Iraqi budget for an RV. This is what we've been telling you. Has it happened yet? No. Have you been told it will? Yes. The rate of the Iraqi dinar will be influenced from the private sector, not the public sector of which their budget is attached to from taxpayer dollars. It's the budget in itself is strictly from taxpayer money. It's the private sector through trade and investors coming into Iraq that will justify the new supply and demand of the Iraqi dinar for a rate to be determined. Not the budget. It's private sector. You have a public sector, which is government funds from the taxpayers, and then you have the private sector, which is private investors coming into a country to invest, like the European Reconstruction Development Bank, just like President Trump's company in Vietnam and other countries, along with trade on the water, whereby those currencies, the dong, the dinar, and others will be influenced. That's where it comes from. All right? Just giving you a little education. Now,
I'm glad you broke that down for the
does that make sense? Because a lot of people just aren't aware. They're constantly hearing budget tables and all this other stuff and the Gazette and all this foolishness. Folks listening to this, we have shown by Goldilocks time and time again here that is not where the revaluing of the Iraqi dinar comes from. We've shown it in writing. In fact, Peculiar Ram, I remember you reading one article with us where we read the actual constitution from Iraq related to the Gazette, where it shows that the Gazette strictly is just for laws to be posted that are passed by Parliament. Has nothing to do with budget tables and RV and all this stuff. That's just clickbait, folks. That's clickbait. It's just to get you to continue going back to channels. It's not facts. Okay. Now, let's talk about gold. We touched on stablecoin regulation. Without stablecoins backing our currencies, there's no stability on the new rates. Now we need gold to anchor the new system and the new rates. Goldilocks shared something today from the White House specific to the gold standard related to science. This is getting into the healthcare science. A gold-based system is coming officially beginning July 1st. Read this next part, young lady, if you don't mind.
The EO charges the Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy to work with agency heads to issue guidance for adopting gold standard science principles in 30 days and report their implementation progress within 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what I said in this room this past week. Quarter 3 is when values begin to change on everything across every sector of the market. Gold will set us free.
And what Goldilocks is referring to, folks, is regarding values begin to change on every sector. That's everything. All assets, commodities, real estate, anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Currencies. And we're going to touch on, and that is because of gold. As a matter of fact, we are going to show you folks receipts regarding Basel III. Uh-huh. I just thought about something. If you could read, speaking of gold, if you all want proof what's going to happen on July 1st through Basel III, this is it. If you can read, young lady, under opportunities in yellow, and read that whole paragraph down to regulations. Ooh, this gonna get good.
Opportunities. The upcoming Basel III endgame rules, effective July 1st, 2025, will allow U.S. banks to count physical gold as a Tier 1 asset for reserve requirements, equivalent to cash or U.S. treasuries.
1 second. If you can read that one more time and then pause and then go down to regulations. Folks, I don't know if y'all heard what she just read. You might want to read it a little slow because it's going to happen on July 1st. And it talks about gold and the banks. This is banks around the world. Go ahead, young. If you could read that one more time, please.
The upcoming Basel III endgame rules, effective July 1st, 2025, will allow U.S. banks to count physical gold as a Tier 1 asset.
As a what?
Tier 1 asset. For reserve requirements, equivalent to cash or U.S. treasuries.
July 1st, folks, is the end game, whereby all U.S. banks will be able to count physical gold as a Tier 1 asset. Ladies and gentlemen, have you thought of why Wiley and myself have been encouraging you to establish a relationship at a Tier 1 bank? If you can read, go ahead, read. This is expected. Go ahead.
This is expected to boost institutional demand as banks seek to hold more allocated gold, reducing exposure to riskier paper gold. Recognized as a zero risk reserve asset, gold's safe haven appeal grows, making it a strategic tool for banks to strengthen balance sheets amid tighter global regulations.
There goes regulations again. So the
Mm-hmm.
upcoming Basel III Endgame, effective July 1st, will allow all U.S. banks to count physical gold. For those that don't know, Basel III was created as a result of the 2008 financial crisis when the banks crashed. This Basel III Endgame. Now, this is something, folks, that has been in the works for years. For the last 2 or 3 years, the Basel III committee made sure that they implemented these regulations and these compliance matters. And October the 1st of last year, medium and small, large banks officially became Basel III compliant. July 1st, and this year, all banks, whereby gold will be deemed a tier 1 asset. It does not say gold will be deemed a redemption center asset.
Nope.
The tier 1 asset at banks. So if you think that you're going to go to a redemption center that is all of a sudden going to be erected for the RV, it's a secret right now. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it's going to pop up. You're going to go and exchange or redeem bonds and currencies. Let's just say if that is true, which it's not. How's it going to be? Is it going to be backed by anything?
Guru Fufu.
Where's the goal? What's going to back your bonds and your currencies, folks? Is it regulated? This clearly tells you the global regulations for tier 1 assets at banks. Or are you just going to go and take your Zims and your dragons and lizards and currencies to a place and give it to somebody with no regulations, no gold, no assets to back your currency and your investment? Is that what you're going to do? Really? That's Russian roulette.
Please don't, y'all.
Highly advise you folks to. This is why we have been encouraging folks and helping you all to go and establish relationships at a tier 1 bank, because we knew what was coming. We knew what was the most secure for you. In fact, I'm going to share, if you want that's the screenshot. Here goes the actual article. If someone wants to read it on their own time, it's right there. That's the receipts. It's a lengthy read, but you can go ahead and do if you so please. All right, now we're going to get into the last one, and we're going to get into some Q&A on wealth management, because many of you, I'm sure, have questions. But we're going to get, now this last one is bigger than most people may realize. Folks, what will back our currencies? Commodities. What is gold? A commodity. What is silver? A commodity. What is agricultural products? Commodities. What are these precious metals and these in-ground assets that you all were told were going to justify the values on all currencies? Commodities. So here we have a global agency, the Commodities Futures Trade Commission. There's key words: commodities and trade. The Commodities Future Trade Commission issues advisory on market volatility controls. This is where, see, in the banking world, when certain things are written, it's written oftentimes so that it's not directly or explicit for you to understand. But it's there. It's in writing. this here article, this actually press release that Goldilocks shared, actually tells us that new prices or new values for all asset classes, which includes currencies, the new prices, the new values are actually being prepared for, and the banks have been given an order to prepare for the new prices or the new values on assets. It's in writing. It just doesn't say it explicitly, but this is what it says, and I'm going to explain it. Go, young lady.
Volatility controls support orderly markets and accurate price discovery. Market volatility controls help price align with fundamental economic realities under changes being made to the market and banking sectors.
Changes being made to the market, folks, is also rates that are changes in itself to the market. Go ahead.
Asset classes such as Forex, commodities, and equities will be adjusting to intrinsic values in the near term.
So Forex, currencies, commodities will be adjusting to intrinsic values, basically saying new values in the near term. Go ahead.
Markets, banks, and all asset classes are currently being advised by the CFTC to prepare for price discovery. It means that everything is about to go to a real value.
Markets. Pay attention, folks. This is a press release from the global agency that oversees or governs currencies. So it's stating, or they're stating, markets, banks, and all asset classes, which includes currencies, are currently, so that these banks and these markets are being advised by this global commodity agency called the Commodity Food and Trade Commission. These banks are told to prepare for price discovery. What is price discovery? Terms in finance often tell you exactly what it is. What this is telling us is that banks were given the order to prepare for new prices on assets, because as these new prices begin to move, an asset its price begins to move to a new value. That means a new price has been discovered for that asset. So gold and its new price, that price discovery, let's say gold right now, 3,500 an ounce goes to 4,000. That's the new price discovery, is 4,000. Just like I think I mentioned on the podcast the other day, gas goes from $1 to $2. $2 is the new discovery price discovery. So currencies, let's go there. I'm just use as example, just a hypothetical. If the Vietnamese dong goes, its new price becomes $1. I'm just using that as an example, because if I say anything higher than that, people might get, well, I won't say that. But so it's say if it's $1, the new discovery or the new price discovery of the dong is $1. So what the banks have been given an order to do is to prepare for the new prices on assets, new prices on currencies, new prices on real estate, new prices on commodities such as gold and other assets. Prepare for new prices, because as the prices reach their new level, their new discovery, they level off oftentimes, and then there may be an opportunity for a new price, higher or lower after that. So the banks have been given the order to prepare for the adjustment or the adjustments in new prices, or the adjustments in new values, or the adjustments in new rates that are expected to occur. Now, why has the Commodities Future Trade Commission told the banks to prepare for new prices on assets? What is going to happen after July the 1st? Gold will become a tier one asset in all of the banks. Gold will move the prices of everything that it backs. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now let's get into some Q&A. Does it all make sense to you, Peculiar Rand?
It sure does.
All right. All right. Wiley, are you here, my good man?
Ready when you are.
Ready? Okay. Folks, we're gonna get to some Q&A. Feel free to thank you, Peculiar Ram, as always, beloved, for your awesome reading and entertaining us. Folks, raise your hand. We are going to call on you if you have questions regarding wealth management, and we're going to help you out. Raise your hand. Raise your hands. We will come to you. This is your first-hand opportunity to ask your questions and help get you structured and prepared for your exchange, like you hear so many people doing. Now, I know somebody has a question about preparing with your bank. Sally, I am. You can unmute, young lady.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing, young lady?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. How are you this evening, besides all this great information?
Doing well. Thank you. You got a question for Wiley?
I do.
Myself? Okay.
I do. So I'm staying encouraged, and I've been in. You all hear my amazing friends and their circumstances. However, I do meeting after meeting, and all the connections that I listen to and hear with the relationships built. I don't know what's going on, but not one wealth manager that I've met with tends to respond like everybody else's. So I have chosen two that I want to use, and I let them know. However, I don't get the responses that everybody else does with the wealth manager's responses. Is that normal? I know I'm not the only one. Do you understand what I'm asking?
I believe Wiley, were you able to hear her?
Faded in and out, but I think she's saying that other people are having a different experience of what she's getting, and
Okay.
your wealth advisory is not returning in a punctual manner, or are they just not giving you the feedback that you would like?
I don't feel like it's mutual. I don't feel like, like I hear, can you all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I don't feel like my expectations with the reciprocal in the relationship from the wealth managers that I meet with, I don't feel
Okay.
like it's anything like what I'm hearing everybody else, it being reciprocated and all the different extensive activities that go on. And I have chosen two because I like one mainly. I really like him. I told him I'm going to use him when it comes in. However, he don't reach out to me. There's no extensive connection, yada yada. But I want to use him. Should I continue to do meeting after meeting until I get what I hear everybody else's experiences be?
Well, if you're not getting feedback back, I don't know if he's your guy. But let me ask you this. Is it a tier one bank or is it a private wealth management?
Oh, it's a tier one bank.
Okay.
Very popular.
Keep
Very
him in the fold.
popular.
Keep them in the fold, okay? Because you're going to need that
Yeah.
tier one asset.
Right.
Reach out to me after this call, and I'm going to point you in a couple directions, and I'll take you directly to a PWM.
Okay. I'm not, it's not that I'm discouraged or anything like that. It's just kind of being the person that I am. I just like am okay. Do I just sit still? Because I'm not the one just to sit still in relation. So I just want to know, like, yeah, I continue to listen to all the recordings, all the calls, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, this isn't fair.
Right, but
Because I'm
here's the thing,
feeling like this is
Sally.
not
Don't
fair.
don't compare your road to another's road, because those people might be at a private wealth management who
Right.
has rolled out the carpet, who knows where these people are going, who knows what their assets are, who knows what they're bringing. That's a different story, and that's a different road. Yours doesn't know all that, so it's a little different journey you're on.
Right.
Now, if we take you to a private wealth, and you got to remember, some people are at private wealth management, some people are at banks. So that discussions are going to be different. I think a majority of the people that are having very good success are people who have very good established relationships with banks and have been there for a
Okay.
period of time. And they've opened that door, and it's little different. But most of them, I think, that are having the true success that we see, and Freedom chime in here, I believe
Mm-hmm.
is with the private wealth management firms that are really
Mm-hmm.
catered to folks, because they're the ones that are leaving the offices and having
Mm-hmm.
very direct conversations about,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we're involved. Yes, we'll be doing that. Yes, we want you as a client. Yeah, I'm going to start setting
Right.
stuff up for you. Stay in
Mm-hmm.
contact with me. It's a different scenario. You got to remember, they aren't focused on banking. They're focused on investments. The bank's got
Mm-hmm.
to take care of the day to day, which is banking. The
Mm-hmm.
Right.
investments is secondary.
Right. Right. And I deal with what I deal with because of being a relational person, and I don't feel like I said, it's reciprocal. And
Hmm.
so I don't feel like it's reciprocated, and therefore it kind of bothers me because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a go-getter person, and with it not being reciprocated, I'm just like, okay, moving on, whatever. Even though I like
Girl,
the
start
one that
playing
I
hard to get. For real, be a little hard to get, and they'll come around. But I would
Yeah.
encourage you to open that avenue to a private wealth management, because with your background and being in business and what you do, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be more served in hitting a bigger entity. Although I encourage you to diversify with this guy that you like, it's going to be a game changer when you have the assets going through that bank. You can only leave a little bit there before you take everything over to a PWM,
Mm-hmm.
or
right,
however you
right,
want to do. But I mean, it will change volumes in how these people deal with you when assets hit your account. Trust me, they're going
Mm-hmm.
to trip all over themselves.
Mm-hmm.
okay,
You've already done your pre work, you're already doing what you need to do. Be a little hard to get with those people and go get you another guy or
okay.
girl.
I
Doesn't matter.
appreciate that.
That's key.
Yeah.
And Sally, what Wally is telling you is the best way for you to play hard to get is to reach out to someone else, and Wiley is offering to help you. Listen, you're a leader in the tribe.
Hmm.
You're at, I mean, without you and Stream Bean helping Nova Knickers, God knows where she would be at.
I
You
know, right?
Yeah, so you absolutely have put in the effort and the love to get the time that Wiley's going to bless you with, um, offline. Your The wealth manager at the Tier 1 bank, he doesn't know that you have options.
Right.
So
Well,
when
I did tell him, excuse me, I'm sorry. During my first meeting with him, I did tell him
he
that
don't
I
believe
was shopping.
he don't believe you. He
Okay.
could tell.
Okay.
He could tell.
Okay.
He could smell it. He could smell it all
Okay.
over you. So you'll be fine. You will be just fine. You will not be left behind.
Oh,
Just go ahead.
I
And
agree.
never compare yourself to another. That's not fair to
Yes.
you.
Yes.
I don't know that I
Yes.
want to say I'm comparing myself. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am. But like
You
I said,
did.
being a
You
detailed person,
did.
hearing, okay,
You did.
okay.
And that's okay. It's human nature,
Sally,
beloved.
I
trust
mean,
me, you're
I'm
doing
humble.
great.
I'm very humble. I admit it, but at the same time, all these people, I'm like, they're in the. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, they're just in the right atmosphere. They're in the right place. They're positioned where people know. And
Well, guess what?
okay,
What Wiley just told you is
okay,
where a lot of them are with private wealth managers. And he's
okay,
going to give you some quality time to help get you to that point. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
Don't
and it
I'll
worry.
don't have to be
receive.
right
I'll
after this
receive
call,
the
Sally.
blessing.
Don't have
Yeah,
to
Okay,
be right
yeah.
after this call, but tomorrow, whatever you want to text back and forth, or you have permissions to DM me, and I'm going
okay.
to point you in some directions. I believe you're Oklahoma region or something like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. I'm going to point you in some directions, help you out, and take the learning curve out of a bit, and give you some guidance that
There you
I'm
go.
going to set you on a path that you ain't going to believe.
I will receive the blessing.
Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. You
All right.
deserve it. You're a tremendous help and a tremendous value
Freedom, she straightened
to
all
the
her
community.
friends out.
Yes.
But the least I can do get her straightened out for her. I'll
Exactly.
do that. So,
I can
Sally,
only
you're good,
try.
girl. I got you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Hmm.
You're
Have a good
welcome.
evening.
You too. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Abundant Love Forever. I love that name. Abundant Love Forever. Tyrone will come to you next, and then Purple Violet Flame will come to you. Abundant Love Forever. I saw you. Where are you? Oh, there you go. Okay, Abundant. Abundant Love Forever. You can unmute. Okay, Abundant Love Forever. You can unmute. You might be having some challenges with unmuting. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes
Oh,
Telegram's a little fickle.
right. Okay, try again, Abundant Love. Try again. Okay. If you're having little challenges, we'll come back to you, but you are able to unmute. You just have to figure out how to do it. All right. We'll come back to you, Abundant Love. Tyrone, if you can unmute. There you go.
Well, thank you all very much for the call, and
You're
I
welcome.
truly appreciate being here. New to the room,
Mm-hmm.
new to the Q&A, but I've been involved for at least a decade.
Okay.
And anyway, I started listening a couple of months ago and started telling individuals that I'm associated with, longtime friends, and told them about you guys because we were one of those, like me, who were listening, to other platforms and believing those things. And just so happens I saw a clip and it intrigued me, and here I am. So I started listening to a
Welcome.
lot of the back. Thank you. I started listening and watching a lot of the older clips, getting up to speed. And I actually put to use what I was learning. And I'm happy to say that within the past 2.5 weeks, not only did I go into a top tier bank
Mm-hmm.
and get my first.
Oops, I think we lost you, Tyrone.
Yeah, it was just getting good.
I'm telling you, I was on the edge of my seat. And then he's gone. Tyrone, you're unmuted, but you somehow,
We lost him.
yeah, I don't know if he
It was
lost
getting
his.
great, too.
It was. I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
It's like I bought
It's
the whole
you.
seat tonight, and I only need the edge.
I'm like, man, what? Okay, let's try. Okay, I'm gonna try to. Okay, I unmuted. You can unmute again, Tyrone. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, we
All right.
lost you. Okay, you're back.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard?
So you're at the bank, and you set up your first, and we lost you.
Right.
Okay. So during the first, it turned out to be more of a screening process, and it actually went very well. The young lady invited me, made another appointment. She asked if she could, and I said yes. And it was about a week and a half after that appointment, which was literally last week, Monday. And it turned out she brought me back to sit down with the VP VP Wealth Advisor for the private clients list. That meeting went more well than I expected, and the gentleman kept me there for about an hour, literally. And before I left, shook my hand and told me that I was now part of his private client list, and that he'd welcomed me to the group, and that the next step would be they would be in contact with me when all this is ready to go to bring me in. And my question is, do I need to follow up with him on anything else going forward? Because I do have some questions I definitely want to ask based on the previous Intel video that you all released. And I watched it yesterday. It was regards to questions to ask this individual, in a sense that now I believe it's time for me to kind of get more or less interview him, so to speak, to get a little bit more details as to what they have or what they can do for me. I mean, he did share some of what they definitely can do for me, and it is a top tier bank.
Here's how I would handle that if you want the advice, and this would be mine. I would send a thank you letter or an email, and I'd follow up in that email, say, hey, I have a few questions about just maybe a few things, and pepper him with that. Don't just send 1,000 questions. Hit him with 2 or 3 and see what he's willing to give you. So pick your best 2 or 3 that really are in your mind that you need to know, that you need answers, because those 2 or 3 can lead into longer conversations later where he might say, hey, you want to come back in? We'll have another conversation. So keep your foot in that door, keep it open, but send a thank you email to him and take it from there a little bit, and keep it brief, but get right to your questions. Hey, there's 3 things we didn't touch on. I thought about after I left. Like to have a conversation with you. If you want to respond via email or visit with me another time, I'm available for either. And make it open so it's on his schedule.
Okay. Now, I did send that following morning the thank you email, just like I did with the previous, with the first appointment with the other lady. But those questions, yeah, I can
And
definitely
that's
follow up
perfect.
with that this week.
Just say again, thank you for your time. I appreciated you spending an hour with me. A couple things come to mind that we didn't talk about or address that just are on the top of my mind that I wondered if you might just have an opportunity to answer. If it's not that brief, I'm happy to have a phone call, or you can send them to me at your leisure, and kind of leave the door open so he knows that you're willing to have another conversation. You've got other questions. It shows your willingness that you want to be a part of this, especially where
Okay.
you already shook your hand and said, hey, you are our client.
Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hey, Tyrone, how's it feel
Yes.
to know it's real on that side since you've had that conversation?
It really, to be honest, it really changed a lot mentally about this whole process, but it also confirmed a lot of what was being misrepresented too during this whole process. So it really cleared up a lot. And um, literally, I shared with what I learned from you all with individuals, like I said, dear friends of mine, the gentleman who actually uh, presented me with the opportunity back 11 years ago, retired gentleman. I shared this with him. He already had his second appointment as of this past Friday, yesterday, and it went
That's
very
awesome.
well for him.
And
And
that's all
another
we ask,
friend,
Tyrone.
Yeah.
yeah,
Pay it to the next
Yeah.
person. Reach
That's
back. It don't have to be in our room. It don't have to be in our circle. If it's your circle, show the next person. And that's how we stop a little bit of the trash that's out there, and we get people in a situation that's real, it's tangible, and they take their ownership of their investment back into their own hands where it should have stayed the whole time.
that's right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
So yeah, definitely grateful about that.
Good for you,
Thank you.
Tyrone. Thank you for the
Congrats.
story. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, my friend. You're welcome. Thank you. Congratulations. That's awesome. 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 Love it. All right. Abundant love forever. Are you able to unmute? I'm going to try you one more time. Abundant love forever. Okay, there we go.
Yay, I got it.
You got it now. All right. How you
Hi,
doing?
how's it going? I'm doing good. This is actually Spirit. I had to create another account because
Oh
my
my
phone is
Lord.
acting.
What's up, young lady? Yes, the beautiful spirit.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Good to hear your voice.
Yes, yes. I've been
Good.
very, very busy. My You kind of answered my question already between you and Wiley. I was kind of in the same boat with the lady that was on before me.
Okay.
Um, I've been, trying to push through.
Mhm.
And I'm getting, I'm able to get in and get the meetings going,
Okay.
but it's kind of like, uh, I don't know. Once they, it always ends with them looking for me to already have everything ready.
Mhm.
So after they see that I don't have it, they're like, okay, well, call us when you're ready, type of
Mhm.
thing you
Mhm.
know. And so my dilemma now is I'm going to be moving within the next month, and I've been trying to contemplate should I just wait till I move out of state, or just continue to push forward until I move, and then just kind of deal with it accordingly. But I'm kind of like stuck. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been kind of, hearing everybody's stories, and I've been
Mhm.
on, listening to calls, listening to all the
Mhm.
updates, checking in every day and seeing what's going on. It's
Mhm.
just I'm a little discouraged, I'm not gonna lie.
Let,
Um,
let me address that real quick, Spirit.
Mhm.
And that was a tier one bank you talked to, correct?
Correct.
See, that's a blessing right there. It really is, because now you're settled with. Go ahead and get moved. Then go introduce yourself in your new
Okay.
location to the same bank. Said, hey, I am a client at your bank. However, I'm not at this bank. I want to be at this bank. Let me introduce myself. By the way, do you have a wealth manager? And start that process there. But also, when you get to your new place or get settled in this, start looking at the private wealth management firms, because the bank's only going to be able to do so much. Where you're really going
Right.
to get into that, I think
Mhm.
I say not everybody can be a Thai or a Lady Unique or a PR
Yeah.
or some of these. I mean, they're all Ferraris. Don't try
Right.
going and getting a Ferrari day one. It's okay to drive
You're
an Acura. It really is.
That's right.
You're right. You're right. And I've already got someone on the list because I've been
Mhm.
researching, and
Mhm.
looking in that area. So
Mhm.
I have some in mind already.
But Spirit,
Just
you're already doing the work, and that's
okay.
what it takes. You have to put some skin in this to get
Mhm.
what you
Right.
want out. And you're doing that. And I think the reluctance, you have a bit reluctance because you're moving and you kind of got that over your head and you don't know how to do that. Then you've got all these other great stories out there. But again,
Yeah.
don't compare yourself to others, because the others, each of us are products of our environments, our
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
past, our histories. That plays into how well some of us go
Mhm.
forward and do these interviews and build relationships and go forward. Not everybody
Mhm.
does that at the same level or same depth, because some of
Mhm.
us are shy. I think we had somebody who was shy yesterday talked about that, and I'm like, shy? This
Mhm.
girl's all over it. But anyways,
Right. Right.
just run your race. Okay, you
Right.
are you
Okay.
are not you are in competition with nobody but you, and that competition is success. That's what
Mhm.
we want. It's your
Okay.
race, and it's your
Mhm.
success race, and that is all we want you to focus on.
Okay.
So don't be
All right.
focusing on Sally, because I'm gonna help her out and get her pointed the right direction. But I think you're doing great, Spirit. I really do. You've already got a
Yeah.
tier one bank. Just when you
Mhm.
get moved, go introduce yourself to the new one.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you. You'll be
Mm-hmm.
fine, beloved. Just follow Wiley's lead. You'll be fine. And of course, if you need anything, come to the room. We got your back.
Sure
One hundred
will. I
percent.
sure
Come to the
will.
room, and we'll church you back up.
Okay. Y'all have a blessed night. Thank you.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Hmm.
All right. I saw purple Vision Flame. I don't see you anymore. Okay, and then we're going to come to Blessed One. We're going to come to you. If you can, okay, I'm going to let you. Blessed One will come to you, and then Frida Young, Tanya B, and then Aruba 297. And Blessed One, if you can unmute, and I know you've been rolling, Blessed One.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yes, I've been rolling. I've been dating around a lot.
I see. I mean, you like 3-4 boyfriends over here. Wealth managers all at one time. Oh my God.
They're all in different zip codes. She's good.
Right. That's right. They all know each other. Go ahead, young lady.
Well, the question is, because I've been dating around, I kind of forgot about my first love. And I haven't been because the first one was the tier 1 bank with the wealth manager, and the other two are private wealth managers. I've been talking to more so than the first one. So how do I continue with the first one? Of course, I got my account and I got my brokerage account and all that set up, but I haven't really been contacting him that much. So how do I continue that relationship? It's more like it's everything, even though everything is set up, and I hadn't really emailed him back and forth, and he hasn't contacted me since then. And that's been probably more than a month now.
I would just touch base with him, little email, just say, hey, just saying hi, hello. Still waiting on my end. I'm not in control of that timing, but I'm set. I'm good to go. And just if you have any questions, hit him with a question or two, and make sure he knows that you're aware and the lines of communication are open, because more deals are killed because communication doesn't appear to be open. You always want open lines of communication. Always. Okay. Even if it's just a hi. I don't know if it's close to you or whatever. If you're even in the bank, just wave at him or walk by his desk. Say, hey, I just wanted to say hi. I got that stuff settled. As soon as I'm sorted, you're my first call.
Well, he's not near me. He's like two hours away, but.
Okay, so you can't go in and pop in on him, but you just send something like that to him in an email. Say, hey, I'm not in control of it. Haven't forgot about you. I want to make sure our lines of communication are open. I'm set on my end. Is there anything you need from me before this happens and I get my assets to you? Just see if he's got anything for you, so he knows that it's not you, it's not him, and those communication lines are open. That's what you want to ensure that you keep in dialogue with.
Okay. Okay, I will do that.
Yeah, it don't have to be anything lengthy or breathy, or it don't have to be super stellar, and or anything. Just let him know, hey, you're my guy. You're who I'm going with. I'm comfortable. I'm structured. I feel good. I'm just waiting for it to come in, and we'll get down to business as soon as that happens.
Okay, that makes sense.
Beautiful. Blessed One, were you the one that overbooked your appointments?
No, I didn't overbook. Well, I did have a couple in one day, but I didn't overbook.
Okay. You had a couple. Okay, excellent.
Two in one day.
She having appetizers at one restaurant, full meal at the next one, and dessert at the third one.
Right. I'm telling you, she can give classes on wealth management appointments now. She's mastered this. She mastered it. Congratulations.
From being afraid to now just being comfortable. I'm really enjoying this now.
Beautiful.
And that is empowering. That is empowerment. Yes. That is what you need to feel. You need to feel in control of this investment, so that when you work with these folks, there's a mutual understanding. Hey, I'm relying on you to do well for me and teach me as we grow in this. And that's what you want. You will outgrow them. I'm telling you, it just happens. You will outgrow a bank. So that's why we encourage the diversity to a private wealth manager as well. You can do it now, you can do it later, but it will happen.
All right. Well, I thank you so much, both of y'all, for your help.
You're welcome.
And Freedom, I got that message when I put on there BBL.
Oh yeah. Hey Wiley, did you see she posted BBL in the room?
Did.
I
She
was
said, "Be
like,
back
what?
later." You
Be
guys
back
went in
later.
all different directions.
I was like, "Ooh." I didn't realize that till after I did it. But
Lord have mercy. We have so much fun in the room. Thank you.
We're gonna have to watch Blessed too. She
I'm
sounds
telling
like a
you.
character like Lady Unique. You gotta watch
Right.
it as well.
Exactly. All right, Blessed. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing and follow Wiley's guidance. You'll be all fine. And of course, whatever you need, come to the room. We'll help you along the way.
Freedom, you imagine we put a few of these girls in the same room together, the chaos they would create, like Cecilia
Oh
Ram, Lady
man.
Unique, Sally, Blessed. We put some of that in a room, it'd be chaos.
Man, that's a reality show right there.
It would be, wouldn't it? Get your
number
camera.
one rated. Yep.
We're gonna send Steve Harvey in.
Oh man.
well,
All right, Blessed. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Blessed one.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Thank you. All right. Free the Young will come to you, then Tanya B, Aruba, and then Grateful One. Free the Young. I thought okay, I'm gonna let you. Okay, Free the Young, you can unmute. Free the Young. If you can unmute, please feel free. You might be having some technical difficulties. All right, Free the Young, you might. Okay, you're unmuted, Free the Young, but we can't hear you. Okay. Free the Young, we cannot hear you. Okay, I'm going to come back to you, Free the Young. Tanya B, if you can unmute. Tanya B, you can. Okay, Tanya B, there you go. You can unmute. All right, Tanya B, you might not be able to unmute either. Okay, Tanya B, we'll come back to you. All right, Aruba, where are you? Okay, there you go. Okay, Aruba 297, you had your hand up. You can unmute. Okay. Aruba. All right. So all right, Grateful One. We're going to come. Grateful One, I think that was you that overbooked. I know you had like 7 wealth manager meetings in one day. Grateful One, you can unmute.
Yes, that was me.
That was. How you doing, my good man?
I'm good.
Good.
Trying to stay up.
Good.
Just trying to stay up for this call.
Okay. Do you have a question?
Not quite. I just want to let all the other ones know during the beginning of the show, we all start differently, but don't get discouraged. Just have faith. Like I said, if I could do it, because I don't like to talk at all. Just have your head down, put your blinders on, and talk about your strengths, and hopefully that will flow within the conversation.
There you go. Thank you for sharing that, my good man.
For those that don't, for those who are apprehensive or whatever, I think the hardest part is going to be just setting the meeting, because we've kind of done everything else for you to kind of get you there, to open the door. You just got to step through it. And if you can do that, you're going to be successful. And let the questions do the talking for you. It's okay to have silence in a room. It's okay to have uncomfortable silence. Just let them chime in first and keep going until you find your comfort level and go from there. But I think, and Freedom, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Ty Two Pretty's guy told him it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yep, that's what he said.
And trust me, the conversations with my wealth managers, there's lots of silence. But it's
That's all
okay.
right. That's
Yeah.
that's all right. You're building a rapport and you're finding your comfort level, and they understand that this is not your wheelhouse. Trust me, folks. They really understand this is not your wheelhouse, and they're going to do
Mm-hmm.
everything they can to guide you and point you in the direction for success. Because
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, your success is theirs, and this is a
Right.
symbiotic relationship where you need each other to start this. And as you grow, keep picking up those nuggets of knowledge they keep dropping on you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And while I pick up all your nuggets wherever I get a chance to, even
Mm-hmm.
though I'm making my own personal nuggets at work.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate the wealth of knowledge that you drop for all of us. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
You're
it's
most welcome. But as you do this, you're going to learn these things, and you're going to learn. Wow, that's doable. Okay, I'm going to do that again. I enjoy that. That's profitable. I like the money. It's and it's not like gambling. It's a little different than that because in wealth, you want to go in and you want to make sure you're getting guaranteed returns or as best as guaranteed returns as you can. That's
Mm-hmm.
the goal. And it's kind of
Right.
fun. And I think a lot of people, Freedom, I think we've heard that a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
are finding this enjoying and
Yeah.
enjoyable, that they're learning and they're building relationships with folks that are teaching and helping
Mm-hmm.
them grow downstream. Because
That's
again,
right.
Freedom Fighter and Wiley, man, we're out of here
Mm-hmm.
when this is
yeah.
over. I mean, we're gone, folks.
Yep.
Hey, we are enjoying while you're here. So thank
All
you.
Thank
righty.
you. Thank you. And thank you
Congratulations to you,
also.
grateful one.
Yeah, congratulations, man. And thank you also for your constant participation and great energy in the room as well, Grateful One. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Nana D, if you are there, okay. Nana D, you can unmute. Okay, Nana D, are you able to unmute? Okay. If
Okay. Yeah, I
Oh, there
got
you
it.
go. Okay, I almost gave up on you too soon. Sorry
Sorry.
about that. It's okay.
You're all right.
I hit the camera and panicked. Um, I'm gonna apologize in advance. I used to listen to you before rooms got switched and everything,
Mhm.
and the message from say a year ago to now looks like it's changed.
Mhm.
And I heard you a couple of weeks ago when you said that if you didn't have an account already established with a tier one bank, that you would have to wait like 30 days.
Mhm.
And then the whole discussion about building a relationship with a manager, ahead of time now. Where would I go to go back to your original files to see how to start? I know you can't go through that now, obviously, because there's a lot of
Okay.
people that are way further into this than I am, but
Well, what we're teaching is we're teaching somebody how to go do this. I don't know if you have time to come into the room, but
Mhm.
at least go to a tier one bank because it's right on their website. They require you to have an account to do currency exchange. And it says right there in their or their bylaws or their agreements in the currency
Mhm.
exchange sections on their websites that you got to be a member 30 days, 6 months, whatever. This isn't us telling us. This is the
Mhm.
bank's policies. These are their protocols. So we're only passing those along on what the bank requirements are that you got to have pre-established relationships with the bank themselves just for the exchange. That's point one. To actually point two to build a relationship, that's with the wealth manager side. But at the minimum, get a bank account with a tier one established. So when this does happen, you're already pre-vetted.
Mhm.
is there prior recordings that kind of walk you through some of this stuff that I can go? Is there a different room or something?
Well, we
Could
in
we post up the
the 8
in the room
steps.
right now? Post up the instructions for it.
Yeah. We'll post into the room, Nana, the 8 steps, the
Okay.
instructions. They're very, very um, simple. Even number one shows you how to Google tier one banks in your area. The step-by-step instructions are there, and you are more than welcome to come into the room, the QFS Dialogues room, and ask for help in walking you through those steps as well. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Shiok. They're posted into the room now, Nana, and you're not alone. You're welcome. You're not alone in this at all. So don't feel as if you're on an island by yourself trying to have to figure this out. We'll walk you through step by
You've
step.
got
I actually kind of panicked when I heard that because I've had a long-standing relationship with a credit union, and I don't think that credit unions are exchanging.
There's only
So,
one that I know of that does currency exchanges. 99% do not. But keep that bank. They're good for emergency funds. They're good to do your
right.
daily stuff out of. They're great to work with because you're an owner in them. But the first four steps in our steps you can do online very quickly, and we've had people do it in a matter of 5 minutes.
Okay.
So
Well,
you're
thank
not
you.
behind, you're not late, you're in the right place, the right time to move forward.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Nana. Nana D. All right. And then ADB. Okay, there you go. You can unmute ADB.
Yeah, sometimes freedom we have to take back because we've been doing this for a year, that we always have a brand new person always coming at us that's
Yeah.
green, and that we've got to, I mean, we do it in the room every day, but we don't do these calls all the time. So it's kind of different
Right.
hearing it direct versus in the room.
Definitely.
Can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes,
you. Yes.
Hello,
Hey.
Freedom and Wiley. How are you guys?
we're
Doing
good.
well.
Listen, I've not been able to get in the room, but I've been with you guys for a long time. But doing my work. I've not been able to get like in the talks and stuff during the day. But I do go back and do all the reading and everything and the podcasts and all that.
We see
Okay.
you.
Oh, you see me?
I see you liking posts all night, all day.
Okay, because I stay up late.
I see.
Listen, I know that I do have a banking account with the Tier 1 bank that I've been with for 26 years. I'm that one person that you probably are talking about that it waits to the last minute to do this or do that. I haven't done the wealth management thing, but my bank here locally, it's a real small bank, but it's a big corporation bank. But I have to go about 3 hours away just for the wealth management and all that. But just say, I've heard other people say, we are not supposed to speak about the foreign currency to the wealth manager and stuff. And I've heard some of them, does some of the people get well enough acquainted with those wealth managers that they just, even though they don't, like us, we don't speak about it, they do mention it because they're going to be like, I'm getting my words all twisted.
Clients.
Yes, how they're going to,
That's
like
because they have
we're
a
not
comfort
going to get
level.
notifications or nothing like that. But some of the wealth managements, some people are saying that they're already talking to them about the currency exchange and stuff. But I know we're not supposed to speak on that.
Well, these people have built a bit of rapport, and a few people, and I don't want to name any names, but they did very well, and they threw the dice on the table, and this could have went either way for them. And they brought up the currencies. They could have been dismissed, but they were educated enough to know which currencies the bank can talk about. They had to talk about regulated currencies, not exotic currencies. That's what gets people blacklisted and dismissed. But these people knew that, and they had the ability to pivot quickly and have that conversation. And the banks acknowledged it and started having conversations with them. That's just independent on the person and their skill set. We say don't do it because a lot of people don't have that breadth or depth of knowledge to do that and pivot quickly if it goes south.
Right. Okay. Because I wondered, well, how would they know that the person has the currency if they don't ever mention it? But I see, because they have a good relationship. So just say that there will be some out there just like me who's, like I said, I've had the banking account for 26 years and stuff, and I know that where I've got to go, and I've been researching like on the which one, how many years they've been and stuff like that. But like I say, I live in a little small town in Kentucky, So I'm going to have to go a little bit further.
Don't
But
let that stop you, because you can do Zoom calls, you can do
Mm-hmm.
online meetings, you can do all this stuff right from your PC or your phone, and you don't even have to sit in the office. So don't let geographical locations stop you from at least reaching out to some of these folks and at least tapping them and say, "Hey, I'm over here. I'd love to have a conversation with you at some point." It's best to have an introduction, because when this thing does kick off or start rolling, wealth managers are going to deal with people they know versus just a complete stranger. They're going to take care of their vetted people before they take the unknown.
yes. Okay. Thank you guys. And I appreciate all that you do.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm sorry I don't get to get in the room, but I'm so glad. I want you guys to know that I thank both of you so much. It takes me a little bit to comprehend, but just know that you guys are helping us so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Run your race, and
that's
your
right.
race is success.
Thank
That's
you
You're
so
not
right.
racing
much.
anybody else. It's your
That's
success.
right.
That's what you're running.
That's right. Amen. All right. Thank you, ADB. Greyhound Mom. Speaking of race, Greyhound Mom just be running so fast.
Hi there. Oh my gosh. I didn't know if you guys were going to get to me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Speak with you and Wiley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So, kind of piggybacking on one of the other people that was asking about, the tier one banks, because that's pretty much who I've had the most meetings with, along with a small private wealth manager that is, I don't want to say clueless, but he's still learning a lot. So I just kind of used him as practice, like you said. And I do have appointments with 2 private wealth managers, and the one I'm really already connecting with. And I think I mentioned in the room where she had already traveled to Vietnam, and I think we're just going to have a good laugh and chat next week. So I kind of want to just make sure I have the tier one bank account. It's a new bank because I also have a credit union, but I have the wealth manager is with the tier one bank. They're linked, but it's not a private banker, because those other tier one banks, the private bankers, and I just didn't resonate with them. So when this happens, because if I end up clicking with these 2 bigger firms that are private wealth managers and use them to diversify, is that trust management firm that's connected to the tier one bank my connection, or do I have, because I haven't gone back to talk to the relationship banker where I opened the account. I guess that's where I'm kind of missing the dot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're a little kind of here and there with me a little bit, but so you have the bank account. You've visited with the wealth manager internal to them, and now you're starting to seek out further from that, correct? But
Right.
you're feeling uncomfortable with what's going on at the bank themselves, that they may not be as deep as you need to go with them.
Yes, because we were talking about trusts and the information you put out the other day with the LLCs and the holding companies.
Okay, that's down the road a bit. Okay, here's the
Yeah.
deal, Greyhound Mom. You went and got the brand new F-150. You didn't get no King Ranch Lariat yet. That's your next truck.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
You just got the good old farm work truck, the F-150, got the roll-up windows on it still. You're good to go. Okay, you are good.
Okay.
Now what we're going to do is you need to work on leveling up your game with these entities in the private wealth arena that can get you into that King Ranch Lariat with all the bells and whistles. So
Okay.
that's what you want to focus on as your diversity piece. As far as you being set for exchanging currencies, you're done. You have a
Okay.
bank, you have a wealth manager. Now you're going to learn to level up with a private wealth manager who can give you bells and whistles and all the extra things so you can work on that Ferrari level you want.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Yes, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I wasn't quite sure how to navigate and continue with the tier one bank wealth manager, or just kind of touch base.
No, you're good. But what I was trying to do with that post because so many people hear about LLC, so many hear about trust, but nobody's ever told
Mm-hmm.
you all how to marry all of it together to make them work. And I
Right.
think that was a
Right.
big piece so many miss, and they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got to trust it's doing this. Well, your trust really isn't protecting you how you think it is. It's a
Mm-hmm.
great mechanism, but there's more layers to it to be very invisible and protected both at the same time. And that's what I wanted to portray. This is
Mm-hmm.
the goal. This is where you want to be, and these are the kind of caliber of people you want to be talking to when you start mentioning this stuff. They already know what you're talking about. And that comes from leveling up to the private wealth management groups. A bank can't do this for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank
So
you,
thanks.
Wiley. Thank you, Freedom Fighter. It's so nice to talk
You're
to you guys.
welcome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
And we look forward to your update. I think you're meeting the next Wednesday.
I meet with the one where we already. She wrote back and said, if we talk travel, we're never going to get any business done. So, so we've already connected through, and we haven't even met yet. And then the other one that I just contacted, who was a private wealth management firm with one of those big tiers that was on the top 5 from Wiley. It was a referral from a friend who owns a business, and they've been using this family for 20 years. So that was a referral. And he actually said he has a client in my town, even though he lives about an hour and a half away from me. So we'll start virtually, and yeah, we already connected, and we're kind of chuckling there too. So
Awesome.
So on those referrals, never drop the ball on those because you've already had. This is kind of, especially in the bigger social circles, if somebody else has vouched for you, they're telling the rest of the room they're already good to go. You don't have to go prove yourself. That's already happened. So make sure you nurture that a bit and see where that goes, especially where you're referred. It may not work out, it may, but there's always, always clout inside of a referral.
That's right.
Great. Yeah.
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
appreciated my friend doing that, and I didn't even ask her, but she's aware of this as well, and I'm kind of keeping her up to date and telling her to listen to the podcast.
Perfect. That's right. That's exactly what we want you to do. Reach back and touch someone to lift them up out of where they're at, so they can feel that that feeling that it is when you've taken this back for yourself and you now are in control. I don't know what the word is, freedom. You know what I mean? You own it. It's yours.
That's right. Exactly.
And nobody can take it from you again because you will never relinquish the reins of your investment to somebody again.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's ownership.
We did the road trip last weekend, and we were listening in the car to the podcast, catching up, and it was so funny that they clicked and they said, "Gotta get some more dong. Hold on to your dong." It was
That's funny.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for, constantly sharing in the room. Every time you post, it's very encouraging for others to learn from what you're doing. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for all you do. I'm still helping some other people that are a little more clueless, but yeah, I'm on my way too. So thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
But remember, Greyhound Mom, there comes a point where you have to cut them off if they're not willing to do their own. No one will drown you faster than a drowning man.
That's true.
Do what you can, and if it comes to a point, you have to let them loose. You just let them loose, but do what you can to try saving them. But sometimes you can't.
I know.
And that's why Freedom Fighter and I and Lady E have pushed people out of the room because we just could not save them from what it is they think they know, and they don't want to reverse course or forget what they think they know and start fresh. That's one of the reasons we're not very popular. And the other is because it takes work, like you're seeing, to go do this for yourself to own it.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, but I'm having fun, so.
That's what it's about. This should
I can
be
tell.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again, you guys.
You're welcome. All right. Likewise.
Have a good
night.
Right.
You too.
We're
All right.
ready to close it out this evening, but let's give our girl Peculiar Ram an opportunity if she wanted to ask something. She works so hard for us, and she does it out of her own time.
Yeah, love it. Okay.
I'm sorry to hold you all longer. I really am, but I
want
to give her an opportunity.
Absolutely. absolutely is
He went to sleep.
Where Peculiar Ram, if you can raise your hand. She probably did go to sleep. She probably did. Oh no, there she is. Okay, I see her. Peculiar Ram, unmute,
She
young
waved
lady.
both hands in the back of the class.
Right. Peculiar Ram, if you can. There you go.
Hello.
There you
I'm not
go.
asleep yet. I'm
Yeah.
not asleep yet.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed all the questions tonight. I guess I don't really have any questions for myself per se. I am thinking about, I think I mentioned in the group, diversifying my wealth managers. But I feel so good with the one I have, but I do feel like it wouldn't hurt to diversify again. Plus I want to kind of go through the process again. Which is kind of fun. So do you guys think that I should should diversify or just stick with what
Now,
I have?
remind me again, real quick. Was he with
Hmm.
the bank or was he a PWM?
It's the PWM
So
firm,
he's
but
out.
it is associated with the bank. I will say that, yeah. I will say
Okay,
he's associated
okay,
with the
that's all
bank.
I needed. You refreshed my mind. No, girl,
Yeah,
you're solid where you are. You
I
really
think
are, and you
so.
got a great rapport with this guy. But you know
Heck
what?
yeah.
In life and in wealth, you always mitigate the risks. Go
Right.
talk to somebody else.
Right. Okay. Got you. All right. That's all I need to hear. Bet. I'm gonna have an update for you guys soon.
Yeah. We know you're set, and I
Yeah.
just want to say we appreciate you coming on and doing the calls
Yes.
with us and being a big part of
Yes.
this every Saturday night and carving your time out from your family with us. So wanted to appreciate
Yes.
that.
Absolutely. I enjoy
Yes.
myself, and every time I listen to the call, every time I participate, we're all just getting more polished. And it's another reason kind of why I want to do it again, because I feel more confident, more polished, and just to use that as like a way to practice, getting in certain rooms, having certain conversations with people, because like you said, this is just the beginning. We are just getting our feet wet. So,
Well, let me give
the
you a
more,
little piece of advice.
yes.
Grow in what you know.
Growing what you know.
And what's that gonna and what I mean by that is now that you know more, you can go get this new boo and talk to him, and you're going to be able to talk differently than you did the previous one. Now you're going to have
Exactly.
a new language. You're going to learn new things that you can take back over to the original guy and have a deeper
Right.
level of conversation and see what he rolls out for you the
Yes.
second or third time around. That's leverage.
Gotcha. So it's like iron sharpens iron. I got you.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Love
you
Perfect.
got it.
And
You got
I
it.
just want everybody to know and to remember that, to whom much is given, much is required. So all of us are putting in the work because of the huge blessing that is coming to us. We have to lay the foundation. Wally always talks about foundation, having that foundation. And that's what we're doing now. And it's quite an experience, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. So thank
Well,
you
that's
guys.
what you're
I
doing
enjoyed it.
here. These are your foundations of generational wealth. And once you get sorted, you're going to start needing to think 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, because when you age out of this and you're no longer around and it's the next
Mhm.
generation, you want to ensure that you put everything in place from the private offices or these fractional private offices, whatever you can afford or get. They're teaching the new generation to carry on what you've put a foundation down around.
Right.
That way you
Gotcha.
never wind up with a spender generation. You'll always have people with the mindset of this saver generation. That comes from
Absolutely.
good foundations.
Absolutely.
That's
Got
right.
it. Thank you guys.
You're
I
Yes.
welcome, and
appreciate the
thank
words
you.
of wisdom. You're
Yes,
welcome.
indeed. Thank you. Good to go, Wiley.
I'm good to go, brother.
All right.
Thanks for changing it up this tonight. I think it was good for a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people to answer some things, and it was
Hmm.
a little
No.
different for you
Yeah.
and me both.
Yeah. No. Thank you for the suggestion. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, beautiful people. We appreciate you all, everyone. We hope that you have been able to take something from each and every question that was asked and the answer that was given in all the articles tonight. Everyone, we love you. We appreciate you. And happy Memorial Day. Enjoy your week and be safe. Be well. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.